Well, hey. Good morning, gamers. Welcome to the Blue Gamer Bluecast Morning Show. I'm your host, Adam Blue, 30-plus year video game enthusiast and industry analyst. And today, for May 1st, 2025, we'll jump through the latest gaming news, what we've been playing, what I've been playing, but also you, too. Yeah, I always post in chat. I'm always curious. Yeah, in fact, maybe I should make that a bigger deal more when I get into what I've been playing. Feel free to post in chat what you've been playing, because I actually really am curious. Sometimes I play games based on other people's recommendations. In fact, a lot of times it's based on other people's recommendations. So, Ultronymous Jim Killex, good to see you guys this morning. One website I forgot to get up. Sorry, I don't think I've been able to figure out how to chat and type at the same time. Okay, let me. I don't know. I like to find. Okay, this could work. I know I'm not prepared, right, guys? I'm already here, May 25. Okay, let's start with what I've been playing. And it's not showing up here, but it's Towerborn. I'm surprised it's not showing up here. I don't know if that's an issue with Exophase or with the game preview game of Towerborn. I was playing some yesterday. You guys had seen it. I probably won't play some more. Here's the thing. I like it a lot. Like, I think it's a really well-made game. It just might be a little too simple and handholdy for me. And I don't mean necessarily like the combat is handholdy. The combat is simple in its structure, but you still have to have the skill to time it and everything. But I would say it's handholdy in terms of do this mission, then go here, then do that. Like, there's too much of a checklist going on. And I know that's kind of in its MMO nature. And it could be that it's Towerborn is more of a late game thing, but can I get to that? And maybe, because the gameplay is fun and it's good to look at. It's just so far that's all that is there. There's not much under the surface, even though I get a bunch of loot, but then it's that. It's like, okay, I get a bunch of loot that I have to go through menus and then dismantle this, upgrade that. And yes, I like upgrading, but I think by now in video games, there's a delineation between games that are, what am I trying to say, conscious of your time, versus games that the time it takes to do these other side activities are part of the game mechanics. So that's that. Let's see. Ultronymous, I beat Digimon Cyber Sleuth the other day and began Digimon Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory. You have to tell me what platform these are on. And I've never checked out any of those games. I might have to check them out. Let me know. Also, yeah, what compared to another game, I'm curious what the gameplay loop is. It just like another Pokemon, or is it like a battle network? When I see Hacker's Memory and Cyber Sleuth, that's what I'm thinking. But and I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I was playing, especially yesterday? And the answer is no. That's very interesting. I just haven't really been playing much, and that happens. And I've talked about that on the show before. In fact, when I do, I talk about it when I do. But it's like there's sometimes where I go the weekend, I don't really play much. Even weekends, it just depends. And that's the thing. I think right now I am seeking, since I beat Tempest Rising, I'm in, again, 21 hours. That's that sweet spot for me beating the game. I'm seeking that next game that I want to spend my time with. And Clair Obscur, it's fun, but it's not it. I'm not compelled. Like Tempest Rising, I have to tell myself, okay, I need to take a break. Whereas Clair Obscur, I'm like, I'm not going to keep playing. I'll come back later, So what will that next game be? I don't know yet. I almost thought it was this one game I'm going to talk about here shortly. Oh, do I have it up anymore? I might not. Because it's called No Rest for the Wicked. It's like a Souls-like isometric game, came out last year. It's still in early access. It's in early access still. It just came out with a new update. I was very interested in playing it, and the reviews, though, were mixed. And even the reviews explain things when we're talking about time. Because even in this review, this guy put 150 hours in, and he's like, and he was saying the game doesn't respect your time, because like you will chop wood more than you will chop enemies. And when he said that, I was like, wow, interesting. Because the idea is like an isometric Souls-like with a handcrafted world, and I guess you build your own place, but most of the game is that. And I guess the other part is because it's hard like a Souls-like, there's a lot of the repetition. So I'll have to keep my eye out for it. But all right, Ultronymous. Oh, PS4 for both of them. Wow, it's a turn-based RPG. You can have a total of 11 Digimon in a party, 3 fighting at a time, depending on how large the Digimon files are. You have to Digivolve and Digivolve. Wow, okay. That's some lore right there. While going through multiple trees to increase overall stats, learn new moves, and gain access to the best Mega levels. That's very interesting. After playing, and I have to get back to it, oh my gosh, Chrono Trigger and Clear Obscure, I feel like there is an appetite there for, games that have really fun turn-based, especially SDG Gen. I love that. The original Shining Force and Fire Emblem. But sometimes when I get into them, what's one? That Marvel one that came out recently? It's like sometimes they're just, it seems like it's all surface level. Like, oh, it looks like it's good. And then when you get into it, it's like, well, but I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued when there's a turn-based system, what it's asking of you. Into the Breach was a good one. Into the Breach. Okay. And that Godzilla Voxel Wars. I should go back to play that more. And I think that's the thing. The turn-based just does not capture my attention long enough. That, I guess the example is Tempest Rising. This is almost of that because it's a strategy game, but it's real time. And oh man, interesting. Okay. Enough psychoanalyzing my video game habits, right? Is that what we're doing? That's all I've been playing. Let's jump into some news. PlayStation Plus monthly games lineup for May 2025 announced. So Ark Survival Ascended, I haven't even tried that. I know it's popular MMO. I don't think I would. Balatro. Fun game. I've played enough, though. Played it on Switch. To me, though, for my personal taste, Balatro is not really a video game. It is very much just like this is something you could do on your own. Yeah, there's special cards with all these little buffs and all that, but it's really like just playing solitaire just with a bunch of special characters. Like I wouldn't even say it's like poker, even though it almost seems like it's trying to be poker. It's solitaire with special cards. And it doesn't mean that it's bad, but I don't consider it like it's like Candy Crush. Like I don't like Candy Crush. Yeah, it's a video game, but I don't like consider it like video game. Like, which that's actually kind of wrong because that's no different than Tetris. So maybe that was a bad opinion, or not necessarily opinion, but a bad example. I don't know, because even like if you think of like a sports game, they have to build interesting mechanics for it to work in video game format. So I think that works. But yeah, something about Balatro, great game. I feel like, okay, I guess what I'm trying to say is I feel like within the video game sort of bubble, it overshadowed things that shouldn't have. Maybe that's a better way to put it. For instance, when Suika game came out, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Suika game. I think it was first on browser, then Switch, and now it's on, you can get it in the App Store. Just basic, super basic puzzle game. I wouldn't even consider it game of the year or anything like that, but super fun. Tons of people liked it, but it sat in this interesting spot. I think it was like last year or the year before where it was big, but it wasn't like taking over. And that's kind of where I see Balatro. It's really great, but not video game. And it's funny how it's like it's roguelike. Well, all card games are roguelikes. You're playing through once and you gain maybe experience from what you did when you do your other poker game or something. I don't know. But Bolt Gun's fun. I've beaten it, but honestly, if you don't like boomer shooters, you might not like it. And in fact, I would say it's not the best of the boomer shooters, but it's not trying to be. I would almost say it's trying to be Doom 2016 as a boomer shooter. That's probably the best way to explain it. And to be honest, I'm not. I don't think Boomer Shooter does a good job of explaining it, but I'm just doing it in context of here's a first-person shooter. It's Boomer Shootery, even though it plays more like Doom 2016. Bokum seems neat, but I can pass. Balatro always looked like solitaire with an extra step. Yeah, and that's the thing. I realized I was spending a lot of time with Balatro, and it wasn't as rewarding as if I was playing a more mechanically driven game. I was having fun. Playing Balatro is kind of like just scrolling my feed, and where it's like, well, I could be doing something a little more. And I hate to talk down to it because that's not the point. In fact, I think Balatro is amazing. The developers have made that amazing. Okay. Let's get less judgy, shall we? Microsoft latest earnings report reveals Xbox revenue climbs as hardware sales drop. So that's really cool. So basically, yeah, they're seeing a growth of their gaming revenue 5%, with 8% being due to Xbox content and services. And I guess what then was on a decline was the hardware, which makes sense because I think, I'm trying to think like back in the 90s, the people that were buying video games are people that were into video games. Right now, the people that are into video games are cutting edge, right? And I consider myself one of those too, where it's like, I'm super into video games, so I'm going to be adopting the newer technology. And so I think why we see an increase in the games and services for Xbox, but a decrease in their hardware is because most of the cutting edge gamers that are utilizing the Xbox platform are using their PC, like me. I mean, yeah, sure, might have an Xbox, bought it, when it came out, but the fact that with your Xbox Game Pass, you get all the benefits on PC also, it's just like, that's where the cutting edge gamer is. And so I think that, when, like, even me, I wouldn't buy another Xbox at all. Unless there's a newer Xbox that does some things comparable to my PC and there's new technology. But I just mean right now, the consoles that are out, I wouldn't buy another Xbox. I would probably buy another PC that would be cheaper than an Xbox, and you could, run Game Pass on it. It's pretty crazy. What's that YouTuber? I think his name is EVA Prime or something like that. Or is it ETA Prime? I might butcher that. Search for that. He does reviews of sometimes PC boxes you could buy that are cheap, but they run games really well. It's actually pretty amazing. And then, yeah, you just throw Game Pass on there. Yeah, there's occasionally the one or two games on Xbox Game Pass that's only on console. But that hasn't happened recently. Ultranums, nowadays buying games and consoles feels less like I really want to play this and more like I want to say I have it just because. That is exactly, I think, what I mainly went through after leaving high school, moving in on my own. I was starting to buy all the old Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo games that, because I had my own job, it was easier for me to do that. And it was that mentality because I was like, oh, I've got my own place, my own job, I can buy whatever I want. And then I was like, oh, I need to buy everything that I would have wanted. And that would be every game I would want it. And I feel like I have to hold myself back here sometimes still, because you guys know I play a bunch of different games all the time. And sometimes I have to be conscious of like, okay, how much am I spending? Okay, I'm not going to buy this yet. Hey, Talos Mobius, good to see you. And that's why I love the sales. Anyway, it's just good to hear some good news about Microsoft because I think they are doing the right thing right now. They're making gaming as accessible as possible. They're putting it on all platforms. They're making things as cross-play as possible between Xbox and PC. It'd be really neat if in the future they did it where it was across all consoles, but then that really doesn't make sense because the only reason they are then putting it in a completely different ecosystem is to try to make more money. Because they're already given. That's a good point to think of. They're already giving you a free copy. Xbox gives you a free copy of a game on another platform when you buy it. It's kind of weird if you think about it that way. Just not if it's on PlayStation, only between PC and Xbox. Okay, let's move on. Producer of canceled XDefiant calls out Call of Duty's FOMO marketing. Now, I found this interesting because I was like, what is there truth to this? Because here's the thing. I like first person shooters, but I feel like they're just not as interesting anymore. You rarely come across an interesting one. And then Call of Duty, though, was just kind of a fun pastime. And I think the first person shooter has moved out of the core gamer and into the mainstream. And I think the problem is, and this is just like there's not as many people bowling nowadays as there used to be. The market's changed. The core gamer doesn't really care too much about Call of Duty now because those sort of gameplay elements have been worked out, right? I think and so what I think Ubisoft was trying to do was capture the core gamer, but I don't think you can necessarily do that and make the game that you want to make, successful, that you don't shut it down. You know what I mean? Because they were making a core gamer Call of Duty. But nowadays, these companies are expecting Call of Duty numbers, but only core Call of Duty players are going to be playing a core Call of Duty, if that makes sense. So X-Defiant was great, but I think they were trying to market it to Call of Duty, and you can't do that. Call of Duty now is a Fortnite. It's a pastime. There's a ball game on TV, and then people are just watching it or something. I don't know. Maybe even that's old school now. So when I still think, though, there are room for first person shooters on the market, but I think you would have to make them free to play, and I think you would have to have some other interesting. Yeah, you don't want to market it to the mainstream, and you want to have some interesting, like you would have to be able to describe the game to someone by saying it's Call of Duty but blank. If you can do that, maybe it's down the right path. Saber confirms it's delisting Evil Dead, the game, but says it plans to keep the servers online. So I bet Saber has the server money to keep a Evil Dead server running. I've always thought that when companies say they're closing down servers, it's like, but I think what it is proportionally, the Evil Dead community is smaller than like an EA game, so it's easier for them to probably do that. And Saber's been killing it. They need to make a single player. I keep saying single player. They just need to make a campaign-focused Evil Dead the game. That would be great. I love Evil Dead. Growing up, Evil Dead 2, Ash, Army of Darkness. Oh man, that stuff just inspired so much creativity in me. And the game was fun. The game was great, but it left me wanting more. Let's see what else is going on. I think Microsoft will benefit more at this point if they focus on making Xbox a platform like Steam more than focusing on console. Well, I think that's what they're doing, because the rumor is pretty soon the Xbox interface that they'll start having on PC, whatever that will be, not just the app, will have Steam integration. The new Xbox hardware will have Steam integration. What Microsoft is almost saying is like, okay, for those that don't want to go out and buy a PC, but you don't want to miss out on PC gaming by buying a console, Microsoft is coming out with an Xbox that has the Steam capabilities built into it. And I think that's the game changer right there. And we're going to see that even with their handheld. So I think that's going to be the big thing. Let's see. The FPS games now have begun to blur too much. In the past, there were fewer and each had a niche, like Halo, COD. Yeah, you could even say GoldenEye felt different. Yeah, Battlefield, large scale, and then Gears of War cover-based third person. But now Halo plays like Titanfall, which plays like Apex. Yeah, unfortunately, everyone has the idea of high-speed combat in terms of FPS. Rainbow Six Siege is now a rare species. Yeah, that is a good point. The more tactical ones. I think FPSs just need to be more unique. Yeah, Siege is a unicorn right now. A childish, yes. Evil Dead campaign, please. Exactly. Testimony, same with all the recent Tom Clancy games, except for the one that they tried to make into a battle royale. Yeah, really good point. I really think tactical shooters can really come back being really unique. Escape from Tarkov is an example of what people are willing to do, but yeah, I think these companies are having a hard time deciding what to do on all that. All right, Nintendo has changed its eShop carts in an apparent move to hide shovelware. So that's very interesting. I felt like I was shocked how much the Nintendo eShop would be just full of shovelware, that Nintendo allowed that. To me, that just, again, kind of speaks to kind of the underlying hypocritical nature of Nintendo. Digital storefronts such as PlayStation, Nintendo, and Steam have been criticized in recent years for their relaxed approach to publishing digital titles. Yeah, and Xbox is not on there. And while on the Xbox store, sure, there's some titles that look super low budget, it's not to the degree that's like on Steam or Nintendo. Again, super surprised. This has led to thousands of extremely cheap games appearing on the platform, most of which are low-effort, misleading products often referred to as shovelware or AI slop, due to a large number of games using generative AI images as part of the project. It's claimed that developers make each game extremely cheap because by selling enough copies, it will appear higher in the storefront charts, giving the impression that the game is popular and thereby selling even more copies. Now Nintendo has made a move that will seemingly stop this misleading tactic. Following Switch's recent software update, Nintendo has changed the way the sales charts on the eShop are calculated. Now, instead of counting the number of games sold over the past 48 hours and using that to check the charts, instead charts revenue across the previous 72 hours. This means that a game with rock bottom pricing will no longer show up on the charts as a $1 game. As a $1 game would have to sell 60 copies to match one $60 game sold. Interesting. While this new charting method will likely hide lower quality titles, it may not be a win-win situation for developers. Yeah. The new system will seemingly benefit full-price titles. That was the first thing I was thinking when I was reading that. So, I mean, at least it's something. Because there is a lot of slop. What is that, Keanu Reeves? That's funny. An ad for something. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, hopefully that's the way Nintendo can sort of figure that stuff out. Following trends is a dangerous thing, especially when it's this blatant. More like slopware to me. That's good. I like that. The joy of Bane in adding indie developers. There are a great many of them, not all. Yeah, no, you're right. There's those games like you'll see. They even did. There was that game on Steam the day before or something like that, which was like a huge. It was like, oh, this is gonna be awesome, and then it was found out it was just like a bunch of flipped assets and not really a full game that was even made. Which sucks because then it makes legitimately good low budget indie games get buried or branded to shovelware unjustly. Yeah, and you hear indie developers talk about that. The way the stores are made, it's hard for their games to get seen. All right, so it's May 1st. What is coming out this month? So far today, there's two. You know what? This doesn't even have every game. I'm sick of this. I can already tell. I can look and be like, wait, there's missing a game. Because on May 1st, we're seeing Despelote. Wow, never heard of it. Oh, okay. I think I remember seeing this because it looks unique and interesting. Oh, is it a soccer game? Wow, it's like in there speaking Spanish and going around playing soccer. Okay, this seems very interesting. A slice of life adventure about childhood and the magical grip soccer held over the people of Quito, Ecuador in 2001. Huh. That's giving me some cool vibes. I'm going to add it to my wish list. Okay. Dig VR. Is that Dig the old LucasArts game? Or is that just some... Yeah. Okay. Pretty cool. Not going to play that. All right, so that was May 1st, but I know there's another game. I think it's on this. Shotgun Cop Man. Yeah, pretty weird how they're not showing everything. This looks goofy, almost like that slopware we were talking about, but when I was looking at the gameplay, it really does look like they're trying to have some kind of fun, precise platforming going on. Because like the shotgun is basically like a momentum rocket for you, and your gun as well. I know that's super small. Let me open that up. Yeah. So you can kind of see where it has like that Super Meat Boy thing going on. And where Super Meat Boy, started a whole a slew of games like Celeste and all that, but I guess you have to arrest Satan. Okay. And there's some arguments you can make to where this kind of looks low effort. We've seen these graphics before, but for people that like that type of stuff, it's there. But yeah, I probably won't play it. Anyway, so let's see what else we've got. Vellum, Drop Duchy, Captain Blood. Okay, let's see what that is. Captain Blood on Steam. Huh. And there's a demo. What is this? I mean, it looks low budget, but that doesn't mean... Okay, that was where the VHS stuff going on. Okay, I want to see some more combat.
Meet Captain Blood. Straight from 2004. It's time to shed.
Oh, it even says straight from 2004. So this is supposed to be like a 360 era style action game. You know what? That looks cool. I'm going to install this. Install. Okay. Let's get back to what we were looking at. That looked pretty neat, I got to say. High on Life. That already came out. Metal Eden. Sounds neat, but it's almost like I might have seen this, and look at that. It has a demo. An Adrenaline Rush sci-fi FPS. Oh, here we go again with the FPS we were just talking about. Wow. And it has a demo. Let me add this to the wish list. I'll download the demo later. That might take some time. Okay. That sounds pretty cool. Project Mist and Imperial both look very interesting. Takes on either. Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to check that out. I'll see if it's on the list. I like they're doing a 360 styled game. I've never seen that before. Yeah, there's a few that are out there. It's almost like how Boomer Shooter is used. Let's see. Let's look at that Imperial. Oh, yes, that is interesting. Third-person action RPG adventure. Okay. Look, that's...
So, what is Imperial?
So let's go through...
And as you've forgotten some things, each weapon comes with its own core moveset, and they differ quite a lot.
Okay.
You can change this later.
All right, look at that. Now we're seeing some action.
You pick up loot, and you can change your equipment, and includes the weapon, which will change your core moveset.
Yeah, this definitely does look interesting. Thanks, Talos. I'm gonna... okay, I'm gonna leave this page open because I'm gonna start downloading these demos after the stream, which is about to end. Okay, let's see. I'm just gonna... Okay, so Doom, that's a big deal. The Dark Ages, that's May 15th. But in fact, I could play it and be like, nah, because that's what happened to Eternal. And I think yesterday I was talking about I went back to it and ended up beating it, but I don't remember it. And then, speaking of turn-based games, there's that TMNT Tactical Takedown, which I might want to try, except here's the big one. On May 22nd, Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Battle Destiny Remastered is coming out, which there's a lot of things, even more than just it being Gundam. It's the fact that they're taking a game that was on PSP or Vita, I forget, and then porting it to, which is weird, just Switch and PC. That's another discussion. But they've even talked about how they've changed the targeting lock-on system. They've revamped some of the way the combat works. It's a big deal for Bandai to be going back and taking games, their old Gundam games, and revamping them because the games were excellent back in the day. Just played the Metal Eden demo the other day. It was fine. Okay. Metal Eden seems like it's trying to have a Doom-like combat, but faster. Okay. Oh, Jim Killax, let's see. It looks like an old era Ubisoft adaptation of the Captain Blood character. Oh, I'm not familiar with it as a character, so that's interesting. I'll have to look that up. Oh, it was on Vita. Okay. I do want to try Zombie Army VR because I love Rebellion. I love all the Sniper Elite games, all their Zombie Army games. But they have a Sniper Elite. They have, I think, 2 Sniper Elite games on VR I haven't even played. It's funny. VR is fun, but it's like I'd rather traditionally play a game. It's almost like when you're playing VR, it's more like that's just another thing you're doing. Even though could it be you're playing video games? Yeah, but it's in VR. I don't know what I'm saying. And then Onimusha 2 Samurai's Destiny, and I had been playing the first one, and I was like, oh, maybe I can beat this. No, I haven't even been playing it. Let's see. Night Rain, that's up in the air. It's just a multiplayer game, so I'm not as crazy about it, so we'll see. Real quick, I want to look at the GameSpot because sometimes they don't list. Yeah. This screenshot of Metal Eden looks great. Wait, and then they're even saying it looks like a great month for boomer shooters, but is that even a boomer shooter? Are they just saying any FPS is a boomer shooter? Wow, Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. I played a little of the first one. Like, again, these games are fun. I just don't have time. Deck of Haunts. Yeah, that's interesting. Anyway, let's see. It is past 8:30. I gotta go. I gotta get to work. Let's see. Yeah, Talos, I'm with you. I am. Oh, you played. You know what? I have 4 as well on PlayStation Plus. I don't want to promise you another game we're gonna play together and then not. I have played through Zombie Army 4 on Xbox and PC on Epic Games, and I haven't played through much of it, but I have it on PlayStation. If I'd be able to play Onimusha 2 now. Wow, so you never had a chance to play it, I guess, Ultronimus? So that's good. Jim Kill X. Captain Blood was a famous pirate novel that got a 1930s swashbuckling adventure starring Errol Flynn. Wow, all that sounds very familiar. I might have learned that back in my old filmmaking days. Huh. All right, well, guys, yeah, I'm going to head out. Like I said, it is past that time. I got to get to work. But thanks all for joining. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I'll see you all again tomorrow. Maybe we'll get some gameplay going in tomorrow since there are some demos and new games that have released. So, all right, I'm going to head out until next time. See y'all.